like to introduce you now to Charles O. Henry.
Hello, Chauncey. I wish I could see you in person. See, I died of disease in a town called Paducah, Kentucky, on August 16, 1864. When I died, it was quite sad because the problem with it was that over 110,000 soldiers were killed or mortally wounded during the war, and twice as many soldiers died of diseases such as dysentery and typhoid fever. I was only 19 years old when I died. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in 1845 to my father, Harley Henry, and to my mother, Lucina Kingsbury. Both my parents were born in New York, but met and married here in Illinois in 1845, or 1842, sorry. I had 9 brothers and sisters in our family. 2 of my uncles went to the California gold rush in search for mounds of gold, but never returned. I helped out on the family farm until I enlisted in Company K as a corporal in the 134th Illinois Volunteers. This was one of the 100-day regiments. Do you know the 100-day regiments? No? The 100-day regiments was something set up by the governments of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa in the early spring of 1864, because they believed that the war was going to be over very quickly. And this was a volunteer force of 85,000 soldiers to serve for 100 days. Their duties were things to relieve the regular soldiers of things such as guard duty, arsenals, and stuff like that. In Illinois, all of our soldiers together, we had refurnished 13 regiments and 2 battalions. In the annual letter sent by our governor at the time, said, "Our regiments under this call performed indispensable and invalid service to Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri, relieving the garrisons of veteran troops who were sent to the front to part in the Atlantic campaign, several of them also composing a part of that glorious army that had penetrated the very vitals of the rebellion and plucked some of the brightest laurels that this heroic age has woven for a patriotic soldier. 5 out of the 100-day regiments, after their term of service had expired, voluntarily extended their engagements with the government and marched to the gallant and able Rosecrans, who, at the head of an inadequate and poorly appointed army, was contending against fearful odds for the preservation of St. Louis and the safety of Missouri. The officers and soldiers of these regiments evinced the highest soldierly quarters and fully sustained the proud record of our veterans have ever attained in the field. And the state and county, we owe them lasting gratitude. We have, in a great degree, to attribute our success in Virginia and Georgia to the timely organization and efficient services to the 100-day volunteers furnished by all of said states. The President has, by order, returned them to the thanks of the government and the nation for the service thus rendered, and accords the full measure of praise to them as our supporters and defenders in the rear, to which the regular reserve force of the large armies are always entitled. I never completed my 100 days. I am buried here next to my mother and father, and 2 of my grandparents. I'm glad that you have come here to remember me as well.
John T. Morrill. So if you turn around and walk to meet John, please watch your